Welcome back, Truth to a T. Please like, subscribe, and share this video, and leave a comment down below. Check the video description for valuable discount links. Hi everybody. Okay, I'm out here at Camp Hall. Camp Hall is a economic development zone in Berkeley County, South Carolina. It's right outside of Charleston. And I'm taking a ride out here because there was an announcement a couple of years ago that Redwood Materials were opening a plant out here. They were opening a factory. And I'm out here to see how progress is going on that. But I decided to take this opportunity also to take a ride around. Now, this video is going to be about electric vehicles and batteries and future technologies that I believe are coming. In fact, they're already here. And the manufacturing system and the manufacturing climate in the United States and worldwide is going to change forever. So if you're not into that, it's okay if you swipe away. Do me a favor, just before you do swipe away, could you please just hit the like and subscribe button? That would help me greatly. So anyway, let's get into this. So right here, I'm going to make a right turn here, and I'm going to drive in around the Volvo plant. Now, Volvo currently they're holding off on the electric vehicle that they were supposed to be building here in Charleston. I'm going to call it Charleston, but that is kind of on hold. If you look over here on my left, this is the solar farm that Volvo have built out here. This is enormous, actually. The solar farm is enormous, and you're seeing all these technologies come together at the same time. If you follow Kathy Wood of ARK Investments, she talks about the fact that all these technologies are coming together at the same time. You have energy, you have robotics, you have autonomous vehicles, and just the entire structure of how we live is going to change. All of this requires enormous amounts of data and enormous amounts of compute power. So that's why you're seeing this desperate need for more energy in order to run these data centers. These data centers are, this is layman's terms, so don't attack me for not knowing what I'm talking about. But these data centers are like enormous giant furnaces that require enormous amounts of cooling power for them to survive. So that's kind of what's changing the entire world as we know it. Now, this is the, I'm going to make a left turn here in just a second, and I'm going to drive you into the Volvo plant, because I just want you to see how rapidly this is changing. This entire world is going to be a completely different place. It's going to be, I don't think we'll recognize manufacturing.
Now make a U-turn.
Most likely in about 10 years. It's really nice to see when you come out to these various factories. It's nice to see all the employees who actually drive these Volvos. Anyway, that's the plant right there. It's enormous. It really is. And it's certainly great to have Volvo here. We also have Mercedes-Benz here. We have a lot of different big corporations. We have Boeing here. And like I said earlier, Redwood Materials are under construction currently. I'm sorry, I'm still in navigation mode there. Sorry for that background noise. So let's just cruise down here. I would like to get into this next parking lot, though I'm not sure I can. But I want to see if I can give you a view of the excuse me, of the charging infrastructure. So as you can tell, they have an enormous amount of chargers here at the Volvo plant. And of course, there are some vehicles here currently charging. This is the future, folks. And if you think that it's going to be any different, there's a Chevy Volt. This is, what is this? This is a Mercedes right here. There's a Mercedes, beautiful car. And down here, we have another Volvo. And of course, sorry, I'm a little biased. I'm trying to find a Tesla here, but I'm not finding one as of right now. But that's okay. So that gives you an idea of what the future is going to look like. And it's very impressive to me. I don't think I've ever been more excited about the future than I am now. Now, I'm older. I'm in my 60s. And I just hope that I'm around to see where we end up, because the future is truly, truly exciting. Those Volvos are really nice cars. You know, I'm obviously a Tesla fan, but the electric vehicles, the competition, as they say, is coming. It's a long way behind. These cars that you're seeing here, though they are very cool and nice and all that stuff, I'm sorry, but they don't have the technology that the Tesla has. What's coming to Tesla, just having full self-driving alone, just far supersedes any other competitor that's out there. And I know people are talking about Waymo and how fantastic it is. Yeah, it's great. Waymo is absolutely excellent. I see Waymo as, it's like a 4-year-old child. You can put them on a little one of those little cars, those little toy cars, and you can have them pedal around your yard. But if they go outside that yard, they're probably going to, at the minimum, they're going to crash, and they're probably going to get killed. So why would you want to do that? Well, I see Waymo as very similar to that. Waymo is fantastic as long as it's operating in a preordained grid system. So this is what people don't realize. You know, you'll hear these guys on channels, on news channels, who are basically, these guys, most of them are investing in companies that are competing with Tesla, like Waymo. And by the way, Waymo is no competition for Tesla. But anyway, that's another video for another time. But you'll hear them say, oh, Waymo is far superior and it operates so good and it drives. They're driving in Phoenix right now. They're driving in San Francisco right now. Yes, they are. But if they get to the end of that particular grid, they stop. And they can't go anywhere. They don't have the ability to go anywhere else outside of that grid. Whereas I can take this Tesla and I can program in, if I'm in South Carolina, I can program in an address in San Francisco and it'll take me there. And not alone will it take me there, it will take me to every charging station that I need on that particular journey. So let me just tell you right now, Tesla is way ahead of everybody. Now, let's get back to this area I'm in. This is known as the battery belt, right? Because all of the EV infrastructure and the battery companies are moving out here. There's the sign for Campus 3, which is Redwood Materials. I'm going to take you out there. But this is being known as the battery belt. Now, everything is moving here. This is the industrial revolution being brought to you by the electric vehicle. So now, try to imagine South Carolina is kind of like the next Detroit as far as the transportation industry goes. And that's what's happening right here. Now, Camp Hall is located very close to a place called Nexton, Nexton. Look it up. Nexton is also a rapidly growing area. The amount of housing and condominiums and infrastructure and retail and golf courses, recreational areas, the amount of stuff that's going on out there is enormous. So it's coming. As you know, South Carolina is one of the fastest growing states in the union right now, and also it's also known as a place for halfbackers. And let me just explain to you what a halfbacker is. So try to imagine people living in Florida who moved down there years ago. They moved down because it's nice and peaceful and quiet. Housing is cheap, taxes are cheap, and all of a sudden now they're being bombarded with hurricanes, with ever-increasing taxes. Really, it's getting really expensive down there, and it's so expensive that they're moving back. Now, many people that moved down to Florida were from the Northeast, and some are from, you know, even Michigan and some of those upper states. But anyway, they are moving back, and they're calling them halfbackers because they're not going all the way back up north. They're just kind of going halfway. And South Carolina is where they are coming to. So this area is growing by leaps and bounds. The other great thing about it is they don't have the complications here of doing business. While it's ironic to me, companies like Tesla and these battery companies are building materials that are self-sustaining. You know, we are building a reusable infrastructure around electric vehicles. And I know some of you in the comments are going to attack me, telling me about battery materials, but guess what? We're well on our way to totally recyclable vehicles. Redwood Materials, I believe they're already at 15% or 20% possibly, don't quote me on that, recyclability in batteries. And I believe within the next 5 to 10 years, that will increase dramatically. Once we get to 50 or 60% sustainability or reusability or recyclability, that's a game changer. You know, oil, and we're going to need oil for a very, 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 very long time. Oil is constantly required to be removed from the ground and brought back in. So it doesn't, there's no recyclability in oil. There may be recyclability in some of the engines in cars, but there's none on the actual combustion materials. So there is, you can't see very much here, but I wanted to come out here. I was out here about a year ago and kind of nothing was happening. There was a little sign, but now there is enormous work going on here. This Redwood Materials building is going to be absolutely huge. And when this happens, I believe it's going to be a game changer. Now, for those of you who don't know the history, I'm going to give you a basic history of Redwood Materials. J.B. Straubel, if you look him up, currently sits on the board of directors, board of advisors of Tesla. He and Elon Musk and 2 or 3 other guys are the original people who took that old Mazda and converted it to an electric vehicle all those years ago. It seems like a long time ago now. And they are the OGs, let's say, the original guys that started this whole thing that is now Tesla. They're obviously very closely associated. And at a point, JB obviously said, you know, listen, Elon, you know, you're well on your way now. I'm not sure you need me anymore. My expertise might be much better served on the opposite side of this. So you go ahead and build the vehicles. You go ahead and put the batteries in there. But then, oh, I can't get in here. That's really sad. But then I will take those spent batteries and I will completely recycle them. So that looks like it's going to be probably the main entrance right there. I mean, that's actually, I'm going to pull in here. I'm not sure if this is legal or not, but if I get arrested, bail me out. So yeah, there's major construction going on here. That's a gravel recycling plant, concrete plant right there. And there is the driveway. This is enormous. This site is going to be enormous. And there's actually another highway. If you go back there, maybe a mile and a half, there's another highway on the other side of this that is going to, okay, I'm back. Sorry, I killed the video there. I grabbed the camera the wrong way. I'm obviously not a very good photographer, videographer, whatever you want to call these guys. But anyway, that was the Redwood Materials plant. They're definitely making progress. And this entrance here, I'm going to pull in here because this is really cool. This is a refuel gas station here. I'm going to presume there will be an enormous amount of EV chargers here at some point. You know, it's very impressive the way that they're building gas stations today. You know, especially many of the places where you'll find the Tesla infrastructure are called Wawa. Now this is called Refuel, but they're like big recreational areas. So you can see here, this area right here has disc golf. So if you're not familiar with disc golf, look it up. It's right there. So you can hang out here, you can walk, you can play disc golf. The gas station is right over here, and I'm going to drive around here because I want to see exactly what else is in here. I want to see. This is beautiful. This is, by the way, this is enormous. This gas station is absolutely enormous. Wow. Very, very, very impressive. I'm going to pull around and do a complete U-turn here so you can see. Now it obviously, that's Redwood over there. See that building there in the distance? That's Redwood Materials. That's one of their buildings. That may even just be like a welcome center, because I believe that the plant is going to be back over here in this area. This is enormous. I mean, this is, it's, you know, do any of us know how enormous battery recycling is going to actually be? I don't think we do. I certainly don't. But I do know that every vehicle in the future is going to be electric. There's no question about that. There's no question now, period, that this is coming. So there's another beautiful, beautiful picnic area right there. And you can, I mean, you can go in here to the gas station and get your food. Beautiful gas station. And here is the, these are the gas pumps right here. As you can see, really nice. Beautiful. What a beautiful. I love the color scheme here. I don't believe I've ever seen there's your little air right there if you need air for your tires. I don't believe I've ever seen orange fuel pumps before. It's really cool. They also have diesel here, which, you know, again, we are a long way from completely getting away from combustion engines and the like. Now over there is another recreation area. You've got basketball there. There's a lot of trails around here, a lot of walking trails. Over there, as you can see, you've got a soccer field. And there's, you know, picnic areas and all that stuff. And I'm not seeing it here right now, but I can guarantee you, at some point I'm going to be making a video here, and there will be an enormous bank or area that's probably most likely filled with EV charging infrastructure. There's pickleball courts right there. Like, that's really cool. And all of this is servicing not just the community, but also the people that work in these various plants. You know, the way we work is completely different. It was started when, I remember years ago, I got to go up to the SAS building up there in Raleigh, North Carolina. That's where there was a huge tech boom there. Cisco Systems and all those big companies were out there. And that was the first time I really witnessed this enormous campus. Of course, they call it, these are not offices anymore. They referred to SAS as a campus. And when you walked in there was like 4 or 5 restaurants in there. So the way we work, our approach to how we work and how companies treat us is changing completely. And it's actually going to get even better. We're going to be treated better. We're going to have more time. As Elon Musk says, and he's right, we're going to be living in a world of abundance. Everything is going to be abundant and inexpensive. Energy is going to be obviously in high demand, but it's going to be inexpensive. Now, who is going to benefit from this the most? The people at the bottom. I mean, try to imagine already in China, and I know there's a lot of poverty in China, no question about that. This is another, not to get off the subject, this is another plant back here. Main Ocean, I'm not sure what that is, but go ahead and Google it. it's another, another company, and I bet you it has something to do with future technology, maybe solar or energy or something, or electric vehicles. But anyway, getting back to China, there's a lot of poverty in China, but you can purchase an electric vehicle. They're tiny. I guess they would look like those little smart cars type of thing. But you can purchase an electric vehicle in China now for somewhere around $5,000. Now, that's really cheap. That's coming to America. The Model 3 Tesla, with all the discounts you get and the federal tax credit, comes in somewhere around $30,000, maybe $32,000, $33,000. That's really cheap for a car that you can plug in your home. So when we get to the point where you can buy an electric vehicle in America for, let's say, $20,000, that's not very far away. In fact, that might only be a year or two or three at max away. That's going to be a game changer. On top of that, if you choose not to buy a car, or you don't want to invest all that money, don't worry, because we're going to have these things called cyber cabs. And you will be able to summon my car to your house to pick you up and drop you off somewhere. And it will be pennies on the dollar as opposed to now. Uber is very expensive. Waymo is very expensive. Tesla are going to crush that. They're going to crush that concept, because the key with the cyber cab and the driverless Tesla is the human. Humans cost money. We are really, really expensive. So that's going to be the big game changer. And I'm not sure if people are ready for this. I'm excited. I wanted to give you an update on Redwood Materials. I'm a huge fan of JB Straubel, obviously of Tesla. And I just wish these guys the extreme best success that they could possibly have. And I'm going to leave you with a picture of the old traditional, most reliable form of transportation on planet Earth. And even the new models of these have batteries. Thanks for watching.